Good morning, family. Wanted to share a chapter and a verse with you this morning, one that a lot of people have been talking about. It's a chapter with a promise in it that affects us in this day and this time and the situation that we're in. And it comes out of Psalms 91. Some of the ladies in our church have been talking about this quite a bit lately. And it says, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide in the shadow of the Almighty." And there's a revelation hidden in that dwell and abide. Dwell is the place we live. It's the house we live in. It's the structure, that place that we live inside of. The word abide is how we live, how our life goes. So if we're dwelling in the secret place, then our lives is covered in the shadow of the Almighty. It's a very powerful verse. And then verse 2 goes along and says, "I will say to the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust." I want to encourage you to take the time to look over this and read this whole chapter. There's only 16 verses, and I'll share a little bit more in just a moment. But I want to challenge you to take the time to read this and as others are doing, to declare this over your household. Because in this, it talks about different things that come against us and the things that we deal with and situations that happen. And if we drop down to verse 10, it picks up with the list of different things. It says, "No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling." Seems pretty relevant to this day and time. But remember, this is all contingent on where we dwell. Are we living in the secret place with Him? Are we abiding under the shadow of the Almighty? Because if we're doing that, then the promise applies. And this promise goes on, it says, "And the perilous pestilence," it refers to arrows in the night and all these different things. They can't come near you. It even goes as far as to say, "Though 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, yet it won't come near you." Strong promises. And it closes out with this: "Because He," talking about us, "because He has set His love upon me," me being the Lord, "because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver Him." It's a promise. "I will set Him on high, because He has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation." There's a contingency that has to take place first, and that's where we choose to live. And whether we realize it or not, what we focus on, what Christy had spoke of earlier this week, what we are intimate with, is going to determine what we birth. If we're intimate with the Word and with the Spirit in our relationship with Him, then there's a promise that comes forth. If we're intimate with all the fear-mongering and the things that go on TV. Hey, look, we're in a serious time. Everything that's going on is a very serious and dangerous situation. We need to be aware of it. We need to be in prayer. And we need to take the time to practice precautions. But remember, we are not to live in fear. The spirit of fear did not come from God. He gave us a sound mind. And our focus on Him determines the outcome. Where we put our faith will determine how this all turns out. He promises if we're staying in that secret place, it kind of has a Passover tone to it. Because in the Passover, the first Passover, they all went into their houses and they put blood on the doorpost. and they stayed inside their house while death passed over. There's a little bit of a spiritual tone to this that goes that same way. Where we dwell, are we living under the blood? Are we living in that secret place with the Most High? Because if we are, then our lives are covered by the shadow. Further in, when you look at this, there's one of the verses that speaks of being covered by His wings. Wow. I want to encourage you. You may need to turn the TV off, maybe the radio off. You might need to cut back on what apps you're looking at as far as news and things are going on, and put more time into focusing on Him. Like I said, yes, we need to be aware and we need to be in prayer about the things going on around us. But we do not need to be controlled by the fear. And fear is contagious. But God is greater. I want to end with this simple verse out of the New Testament that says, "Greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world." The coronavirus is in the world. It's all over the world. But greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world.